student, alumni, or just a fan, Raider Tees has exactly what you need to help you cheer on the Blue Raiders on game days and every moment in between. We sell officially licensed Blue Raider gear, whether it's clothing, hats, flags, chairs, or just whatever. We have it all, including exclusive gear you won't find anywhere else. Like us on Facebook for updates on new Blue Raider gear and special prices or discounts. For all your Blue Raider gear, shop Raider Tees today. Bigger, better, and go Blue!
Rutherford Issues with Brian Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
Rutherford Issues is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Take control of your account management and energy consumption with the MyMTE app. Download in the App Store and manage your account, improve your energy habits, and more. MTE, serving to make life better since 1936. It's time for us to check in with John Mitchell. He is the Executive Director of the American Red Cross Heart of Tennessee chapter. And, John, you staying dry?
Yeah, I am. And we're all paying attention to the weather, and our teams have been on alert. We, this has been a really busy year for the Red Cross. We actually just went out and talked to some clients that we had worked with, seemed like, it wasn't quite a year ago in Reedyville. And then we've got a lot of our volunteers that are still working the recent tornadoes up in Clarksville and Madison. So real busy. And but we got great volunteers. We got great staff that are committed to the mission, and they're out just doing what we do on a daily basis. That's not even to mention the fact that, unfortunately, this time of year, home fires are on the rise for different reasons. And so our regular disaster action team members are doing that, sometimes 12 to 2 a.m. in the morning. I just say that because I want to recognize our volunteers and how committed they are.
Earlier this week, there were tornadoes that hit from the Florida Panhandle up into Georgia and South Carolina, and we've got what appears to be some snow headed our way, and then bitter cold temperatures. We're talking about maybe single digits with wind chills below zero, and that can cause a stress on infrastructure, and if power goes out, things of that nature, you just never know. Mother Nature is kind of throwing us some bowling balls right now.
Yeah, that's for sure. And, they support us in many ways, but we really do find ourselves working hand in hand with the power companies a lot. When I went down the last 2 years to do hurricane recovery in Florida, I noticed in the hotels that it's nothing but, not nothing but it's all the power companies are coming from everywhere. So they kind of think like we do. And to your point, when we have things happening here, but then we hear something happening down in the Florida Panhandle, that can have a direct impact on us here because our volunteers are deployable in the sense that some of them are doing work here and they make themselves available to go help on a response in a different state. So, some of our volunteers, when you hear things happening in different states, you can take pride to know that the Heart of Tennessee has a great history of volunteers going and helping. So, Tennessee is the volunteer state. So
sure,
I guess that kind of plays out for us as well.
Well, when you look at it as a whole, John, it's pretty amazing what the Red Cross does, not only with disaster response, but with blood services and just the vastness of the services. The Red Cross has its hand in a lot of things.
Yeah, we do. And, the Service to Armed Forces is another pillar program that we have, and the training. And, honestly, we're so big, in some ways we have to work really hard to be communicating again with each other, because sometimes we have relationships with people in our, we call it biomed or blood donation services. And so they're out all the time. And I just find it very beneficial to, go on a couple visits with Gene Baker, who does that. And all of a sudden, some company I was needing to get in with and talk with about disaster cycle services or service armed forces, he's got a great relationship. So, we're out there in very, very diverse fields, and we've got some great staff, but also some great volunteers doing a wide variety of things.
John Mitchell is with us. He's the executive director of the Red Cross Heart of Tennessee chapter right here in Rutherford County. I wanted to go back to volunteers, John, because you mentioned that some are deployable, and that made me think about, when someone signs up to volunteer, that doesn't automatically mean that you're going to be deployed. What that means is you have decided that you are deployable, right? So kind of walk us through, the levels of volunteerism, because it can be just working a few hours here at the local office to going on, to other places when there are natural disasters.
Yeah, that's a great point, Brian. And, we have opportunities that can fit your lifestyle or your schedule. So as you said, one opportunity could be coming to our office here on Memorial Boulevard and being a blood donor ambassador just a couple hours a week, and just helping check people in. That helps the phlebotomist in the back not have to, dual duty and checking people in and doing their job of collecting the blood in the back. Then you could take that to another level if somebody's really wanting to help in the biomed services, and let's say they say for some reason I can't give blood. Well, they could be a biomed transport driver. So the blood that's collected here in Murfreesboro needs to get to Nashville, and we use volunteers for that. So again, we've mentioned it before, we empower our volunteers at a high level, but there's a little more time commitment to that. Some people might say, hey, driving in the Nashville traffic is not my thing. Right. So then they're going to say, well, what else can I do? I'm really wanting to help, and someone could be on one of our Homes Made Safer teams that's going out and going to homes and installing smoke alarms. We can do that on a big Saturday weekend with a church or in a certain area, or we can do that we get a list of people that need us to come do that, and you could partner up and go to 2 to 3 homes a week and make a Homes Made Safer presentation, install smoke alarms for people that, either their smoke alarms hasn't been changed, or I heard a story the other day that a lady had one installed, and she said, I'd always wanted a smoke alarm. You wouldn't think that would exist in today's time, but it does. So then the disaster response locally, there's a role where someone can be a duty officer, and they never leave their home, and they just help with logistics on that fire call. Because some people say, no, I'm not going to get up at 2 o'clock at night and, drive somewhere. But they may feel comfortable being the duty officer that's helping with the logistics of that call and never leave their home. So it's you have to get into it. As a matter of fact, there's so many opportunities, it's hard for us to explain on the front end, but you could go to redcross.org and go to volunteers, and once you put your zip code in, it'll start the conversation with people that will kind of pique your interest, but they'll be talking to you about what all of our local opportunities are immediately, not, deploying to Florida or Hawaii.
John, talk to us a little bit more about, you touched on fires during this time of the year, and I'm assuming that most of that is due to trying to heat your home in an auxiliary manner when your HVAC unit maybe isn't keeping up, and with the really bitterly cold temperatures that we're going to see next week, that's a bit concerning, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And, you just go through some steps. I mean, you never want to have an auxiliary heater or a space heater that's running off of multiple cords. It needs to be, plugged into the wall. Of course, you got to check the surroundings, but you can't be too diligent on that. And, it's something that, we've got some materials, and if you feel compelled, we would love for you to come in and we could just hand them to you, just to make sure you're going over, safety checks. I mean, even in your home, you never think a fire is going to happen, but you need to have a couple exit plans, so if one area is blocked off, where do you go for your second choice? So just being present of it, there are apps that you can download to be Red Cross ready. There's one specific for tornado, one specific for being Red Cross ready. But, yeah, it's just a matter of not overlooking being prepared. And that's one of the things that we like to kind of keep on everybody's mind is, have a plan, go and talk to your family about where would you go in the event of a fire that everybody knows you got out. Because the last thing you want is for someone to feel like they need to go back in the home when somebody's safe, but they just don't see them. So having one location is key if you ever are in that situation.
John, smoke detectors obviously are hugely important to have, and really there's no excuse not to have one at this point, because there are so many. I mean, I think our fire departments here in Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, Smyrna, Laverne, if you go by, they'll give you smoke detectors. So, I mean,
and better yet, they'll come out and put them in.
Well, that's true too. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're part of the same program. It's the Tennessee Fire Marshals program that is got a goal to reduce deaths by fire, and smoke detectors is the biggest thing that we can do by installing them. So we don't care if the fire department does it or we do it. Our goal is to make sure that you have an operational smoke alarms in your home. And so we can, our team can come out and do it. The fire department can do it. So as you said very well, there really is no excuse not to have the appropriate smoke alarms in your home. If you call us, we'll set up one of our volunteers to come out to your home, and we would love to go through that. We do a Homes Made Safer presentation, and in that presentation, we talk about what smoke alarms you have, we identify, and then most of the time we do end up putting in smoke alarms that have a 10-year battery. So once you put them up, then they have a 10-year battery for, security reasons.
Yeah, I put some of those, did a little home remodel last year and put those in, and they're affordable, so you can find them anywhere. But again, if money is an issue, don't let that hinder you from putting smoke detectors in your home, because it's a matter of life and death, really.
Yeah, it is. And I don't have the statistics in front of me, but this state marshals, the efforts that we've done, it's trackable about how many lives have been saved by us doing this. So give us that opportunity to come out and, let somebody look through your home and install smoke alarms if they're needed.
John, appreciate you spending some time with us today, and stay warm next week. It's going to be a cold one.
Yeah, we definitely will. And a quick shout out coming up in March. March the 4th is a Monday, and we have our Heroes Luncheon. It's actually March the 5th. I'm sorry. We will have our Heroes Luncheon at MTSU. We'll be recognizing former Mayor Ernest Burgess, but we'll also be recognizing all the heroes that work with us. And we will have a video of some of the resiliency that came out of the Reedyville tornado. So look for more information to come, but you're invited. It'll be 11:30, Tuesday, March the 5th at MTSU.
Very good. John Mitchell joining us today, the Executive Director of the Heart of Tennessee chapter of the American Red Cross.
Greetings, friends. This is Lenny Farmer with the Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home in Murfreesboro. If you ever had to deal with the final arrangements of a loved one, funerals are both emotional and financial. You can easily be drained both ways when you least expect it. I can help you in both of these areas by showing you the